When I first found myself in a notary's office, it was quite a shock. He was wearing full garb. I am talking long robe, scarlet and gold waistcoat, baroque wig with the ponytail at the back, and we were ushered silently into this enormous conference room with a big chandelier. It was surreal, and I felt a little bit like I was at the opera house on stage and I had forgotten my costume. I've since been to hundreds of notaries' offices. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've visited most of them on the Ku'damm in Berlin. What I have learned is that notaries, they're not all that formal. There are some notaries that wear jeans. There are hostile notaries and lovely notaries, and notaries who take themselves very seriously, and notaries who have mannequins of themselves custom made in their waiting rooms, and everything in between. But they all tend to have one thing in common, and that is when they realize that there's an interpreter involved, they cringe. It's not the nicest way to walk into a room and to see the look on their face, but I do understand why. It slows them down considerably. A notary can read a purchase contract out in German at the speed of light. You should see how fast some of them speak. But as soon as you bring in an extra party, someone who has to interpret a different language, it can take more than 4 hours just to get through a single contract. To add to this, every notary I have ever met seems to have some awful horror story about working with an interpreter. Unprepared interpreters have been reduced to tears by notaries, and well-meaning relatives and friends who are perfectly fluent in 2 languages and who try to do these contract readings fail miserably. You really need to have someone who understands the content of the contract. And if the notary determines that the interpreter you've brought with you is not prepared or not competent, they can just cancel the meeting and reschedule and ask you to bring someone else next time, at your own expense, of course. Years of working with notaries has allowed me to put everyone at ease when I walk into the room. I interpret simultaneously by default. This means I talk over the top of the notary while they are speaking German. It means that it doesn't necessarily take too much longer than it would take if the notary was handling the appointment by themselves without an interpreter. And when I suggest this, I usually see a flash of relief over everyone's faces because they realize they're not going to have to cancel their afternoon meetings and we are all going to get out of there by dark. I bring detailed notes and I follow the German contract as we go to make sure that the content hasn't changed. And I help you answer questions which always crop up as we go through the read through together. I speak quickly and clearly at a volume that is comfortable for everyone in the room. And once everyone is satisfied, then we all sign. As an interpreter, I am bound by law to interpret faithfully and conscientiously, which means I sign as well. And then you go and celebrate.
Just click the link below and book Kathleen for your contract signing.